class. Here's your packets. Work on them quietly. Turn them in at the end of the day.
Mrs. Jack in the Box was obviously born with springs on her legs and feet. This is the only feasible explanation for her ability to spring from the chair of her desk to the front of her classroom, readily assuming the teaching stance, in less than 3 seconds. She has performed this feat so many times in her career that she is known to be, hands down, the best in her school. Ask any administrator who has ever entered her room at any point during a class period, and they will admit that they have never actually caught her teaching. Mrs. Jack in the Box is notorious for referring students to the office for disciplinary reasons.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No!
Yesterday. Yes! Rachel, that is enough. Go to the office. Again?
Don't do
Yes.
it. Don't do it.
McKenna. Rachel, go to the office.
But she.
I don't want to hear it. Go.
It seems that most students in her classes are referred at least once, if not many times during the year. If Mrs. Jack in the Box would become conscious of the fact that the enormous amount of idle time incurred by her students is contributed to the disorder, unrest, and unruly behaviors, she could fix the mistake. Of course, fixing the mistake would entail saturating each class period with effective instruction, and this seems to be precisely what Mrs. Jack in the Box is trying to avoid. Mrs. Flimsy, unlike Mrs. Jack in the Box, truly wants to effectively instruct her classes. She is not lazy. She is not seeking to avoid performing the job that she was hired to carry out. She is always well planned and prepared. Unfortunately, she has not mastered the art of implementing a good classroom management plan, one that would allow time for effective instruction.
Oh.
I forgot what I was saying. I need to write it down. Oh, hey, Rachel. Nice to see you on time today. Thank you. Lexi, it's 8:05. You're late again. Don't let it happen again, okay? It's important that each daughter cell receives an identical copy of DNA. This is accomplished by the process of DNA replication. McKenna, do you know when this class starts? 3. Come on. This is like the 3rd time this week. The replication of DNA occurs during the synthesis phase, or S.
Many of her students are late for class, thus causing the initial minutes of class to be lost on a daily basis. She begs and bargains with them to arrive in a timely fashion, but her lack of an assertive, authoritative demeanor makes her attempts futile. Once she is able to secure the attention of all students, that attentiveness is short-lived. Her reactive, as opposed to proactive, methods of teaching cause what was intended to be instructional time to become disciplinary time.
Wraps up DNA replication for today. That's all I have planned. So you can use the last 10 minutes of class to work on other homework. Just try to be quiet and don't bug me.
By the end of the period, Mrs. Flimsy is exhausted. She usually gives the students 5 to 10 minutes of free time at the end of each class period. She uses that time to gather her wits for the next group of students. Ultimately, her inability to manage her classes renders her instructional planning fruitless. Mrs. Flimsy's intentions, though noble, are thwarted by her lack of classroom management skills. This can be rectified if the problem is acknowledged and the proper help is sought.